MMA show around the world. My name's Mighty. Thank you so much for joining me. All right, before we get to the recap of UFC Fight Night Brisbane from this past weekend, let's talk about what the interwebs are buzzing about, and that is the ban lifted in the state of New York. We can now have MMA in the state of New York. That's actually pretty cool. I remember Matt Serra said he would come out of retirement if they ever legalized MMA in New York. So Matt Serra, I'm calling you. Well, I'm not calling. I don't want to fight you. I'm just saying, come out of retirement. Let's see it. One more, do a Randy Couture. Come out of retirement, have a fight. Think you're still, you're probably younger than half the people on Bellator's roster, so what the hell? Why not? So in any case, if you didn't see it, it was a few days ago this week, I believe it was Tuesday, and the ban had been lifted. The crazy thing about this, if you watched the hearing, I guess you could call it a hearing, a gathering of government officials. But in any case, some of these people are whacked. They were pulling the race card, the gay porn card, a little bit of everything. It was quite entertaining, if nothing else. If you get a chance, you can watch the highlights. I believe MMA Junkie has it posted on their feed. You can probably find it on YouTube, but it's pretty crazy. There's a couple people in there that made sense. Of course, I'm pro-MMA, so the people that were anti-MMA didn't make sense to me. So in any case, that's what happened this week. That's big news. A lot of fighters from New York very happy. Chris Weidman, he said that makes him more excited to fight for the belt, knowing that he could potentially bring the belt back home to New York and fight there. And so it's cool. I like it. It's exciting news for us MMA fans and the fight community in general. Okay, with that being said, let's move on to the recap of UFC Fight Night Brisbane, Queensland, Australia, headed by Frank Mir against Mark Hunt. I'll tell you something. This card, it was a solid card. The main event, the main card, I should say, there were 6 fights. All of them were finishes but one, and the one that was a decision, the Beck Rollins fight, was actually a very entertaining fight. Went back and forth. Beck looked great. Her opponent, probably a little tougher than she expected, or maybe she did expect that. I'm not sure. But it was a good fight, even though it went to decision. The other 5, that was the first fight on the main card. The rest of the 5, boom, 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 just non-stop action of finishes and a variety of finishes. Some submissions, some knockouts. If you missed it, sorry, you missed a great fight card for free. And then on the card in a whole, 12 fights, 7 went to finishes. So there was 5 decisions. Yeah, I just did the math right there. But it was a good fight. It was a good card. I liked it, especially for a free card. I think a lot of people were complaining that it didn't have a lot of star power. This and that. A lot of the times these fight cards that don't have a lot of star power, those are the ones that fly on the radar and end up being great. I don't know if Dana gets back there and gives them that, coach talk like, okay, boys, let's go out there and show these guys what we got. It's like, that's probably a pretty pathetic interpretation of what he does, because I know he would use the F word at least 6 or 7 times, which I will hold back and not do, because I try to keep this safe for work, because we know you're at work not working. A good percentage of it. Come on. Be honest, really. You're sitting around watching YouTube. I'm lucky if I get a couple minutes of your time a day, and I appreciate that. Don't get me wrong. But you're watching cat videos and epic fails and who knows what else. We get it. So in any case, I am getting completely sidetracked. Let's get back on the task at hand. Fight card, UFC Fight Night Brisbane, main event. I was on the fence when I talked about this last week, about who my pick would be. I kind of broke it down what I thought. I ultimately did lean towards Mark Hunt, and he did get the KO. I still feel that Mir could have won. Obviously, he didn't. I felt if he got to the ground, that was his chance. And I don't know. I don't know if he could pull the trigger or what. Many people have said this that I've seen online, whether they're fans or analysts or what have you. Frank Mir has nothing left to prove. He's been fighting for damn near 15 years come this summer, I believe it is, June or July. Give him one of those Cush, Chuck Liddell / Matt Hughes jobs. Get him in the UFC brass, let him do stuff. Better yet, the people that haven't been in the MMA world for a long time, he used to commentate in WEC, and he was great. I loved him in the WEC. The thing about being a fighter or an ex-fighter is you have all that knowledge of technique. And that's why Rogan's so great, because he obviously he still trains and he used to kickbox, so he knows about technique. So he brings that aspect to the table. Of course, you have to have personality and charisma and be able to execute properly when you're talking. I can't. Obviously, I stumble over my words. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about half the time, but I try and I fake it, right? So I think Frank Mir, he gets a nice little spot, maybe being an analyst or a commentator. Coincidentally, Ariel Helwani parted ways with UFC for Fox. UFC on Fox, I guess, is the correct terminology. So he's no longer being a correspondent for Fox Sports 1 and any other affiliates that he was doing for that. So that's interesting. I don't know if the two have anything to do with one another, but who knows? Any case, back to the fight. Mark Hunt, walk-off KO. Just call him Babe Ruth. He just points to your chin, and then he just walks away. People are like, oh, that's a bad stoppage. What's he going to do? Jump on Mir and freaking caveman his face in with double fists? I don't know. Mir didn't complain about it, so obviously it wasn't a bad stoppage. The fight that was crazy. Co-main event, Neil Magny against Hector Lombard. Maybe now Hector Lombard should change his damn name back to Lightning or something. Because Showweather, I don't know, because Neil Magny show-weathered the storm. I'm sorry, I had to. I really had to say that. But the fight, two different dynamics. Hector comes out crazy, just that old lightning speed that he was known for, and just put the beating down on Neil. And I thought maybe it was going to get stopped, and it didn't. The ref was just like, I think the ref was waiting for somebody throwing a table or a chair and go to like some WWE style. I don't know what the hell the ref was waiting for. And then Neil basically, weathers the storm, gets to the second round, and then he gets Hector Lombard in a dominating position, and he doesn't want to stop the fight for him either. And I'm like, what do these guys have to do? Ultimately, Neil gets this mounted triangle and just beats the living hell out of Hector and ends up getting the stoppage that way. I'm like, if the ref doesn't stop the fight now, I don't know what the hell's going to happen. So, in any case, that fight was crazy. If you didn't get to see that, I'm sure you could probably find it on YouTube or something. Check it out. That fight was definitely worth watching. And like I said, the card in general, I give it a thumbs up. I give it a solid B+. It was a good card. I liked it. And the Australian fans, they seem to be just genuine fight fans. They really enjoy the fights. So, this weekend, don't forget to check out Legacy FC 52. It's Friday night on Access TV like always. That's the fights we have for this week, and that's going to finish off the month of March before we get to April, which has quite a few fights, fight cards, fight promotions. It's pretty packed, actually. But Legacy will be on Friday. And check it out, especially if you have it free. It's Access TV, so it might be with your satellite or cable provider. Send me that check. And you never know when you're going to see the next Sage Northcutt or the next Holly Holm. Legacy definitely grooms some up-and-comers, and then, the big machine comes in and, grabs them like a toy crane, like they do on, never mind. So in any case, last but not least, I do want to say I did make an announcement this week. I'm going to be starting a second show, so that way I can get twice the hate and twice the love. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what that's going to do, but that's why I felt this shirt was appropriate to wear today. Shout out to my boy Dan from Tap Out, one of the co-founders. Any case, like I always say, boop, subscribe. You know where to go. At MMA Made Show on your typical social media platforms. Typical meaning Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube /Morbid Banter to subscribe to my craziness. All right, that's it. Short and sweet. Thanks for joining in. Have a great weekend. Bye. Brush your shoulder off. Brush your shoulder.